Chicago City Council unanimously votes to emasculate Mayor Brandon Johnson. Man, just when you thought Chicago couldn't get any more corrupt, just when you thought they couldn't get any worse mayors after Mayor Lightfoot, in comes Brandon Johnson. Excuse me. And I warned Chicago about this leftist before y'all voted for this man. I warned y'all about him, that he was a straight up socialist. And Chicago didn't listen. So now they get what they voted for. I mean, and this man is just the absolute worst. He refused to listen to his constituents and continue to put illegal immigrants before his own people. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his back and forth with the raising of the property taxes, which in Chicago has some of the most expensive property taxes in the country, one of the highest in the country. And he's talking about raising it and then not raising it and talking about, I mean, it's just, he's all over the place. He's a madman. So we're going to talk about this, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from PJ Media, from Rick Moran. He reports that Chicago has seen its share of incompetent, crooked politicians, but it's never seen anyone quite like current Mayor Brandon Johnson. I 1000% agree with that statement. Johnson has the distinction of having the lowest approval rating of any mayor in Chicago's history, and that's saying something. It wouldn't be so catastrophic for the city if he actually had a clue of what he was doing. Case in point, last year, Chicago was inundated by illegal aliens sent north by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. There was literally no place to put them, so Johnson decided to build 2 temporary shelters to house up to 2,000 illegals. He found what he thought was a suitable place and then tried to get the state government to sign off on it. However, the state, after testing the soil, discovered unacceptable levels of toxic chemicals, including mercury, arsenic, lead, manganese, and a chemical used in PVC. Johnson claimed that the chemicals weren't at dangerous levels, and besides, the city had removed most of them. He said that even if the site contained poisons at levels that required toxic waste cleanup, he was right to try to put migrants on polluted land, since the state never specifically said that the poisonous ground was hazardous to human health. Now, mind you, this is the same guy who keeps telling his own constituents who want to get rid of the illegals, he keeps telling them, well, I have values and I'm not backtracking on my values. We're going to help these people no matter what. Well, you thought that you helped them by putting them in a toxic waste dump? Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker was aghast. He said, quote, "While the city might be comfortable placing asylum seekers on a site where toxins are present without a full understanding of whether it is safe, the state is not," Pritzker spokesperson Jordan Abudaya said in a statement. And Johnson blamed the incompetence on AIDS and accused the governor of racism. Of course, he blamed everything on racism. Everything. This guy is nuts, man. This is part of a pattern that has Chicago is turning out Johnson and the entire clown car administration. Tuning out Johnson and his entire clown car administration. Now Johnson is trying to close $1 billion budget hole. He needs to do this because his employer, the Chicago Teachers Union, or CTU, is negotiating a new contract, and they want a $10 to $14 billion raise. Now, after kids are becoming dumber and are no longer able and not able to pass regular normal standards that most students are expected to pass, they're asking for more money. He tried to force Chicago Public Schools, CBS, CEO Pedro Martinez to take out dangerously high interest loans. When Johnson tried to force school board members to defy Martinez, they resigned en masse. Throughout the 2023 mayoral campaign, Johnson was adamant about not raising property taxes. I mean, I'm sure y'all seen the clips by now. Chicago already has one of the highest property taxes in the country. Businesses have been fleeing the city to avoid them, and Johnson's promise was broken in a near record time. Johnson proposed a property tax increase of $300 million. And the city council, after months of insults, turmoil, and confused incompetence, finally said no more. The city council voted unanimously to ask Johnson tax increase, and rightfully so. And the Chicago Sun-Times said, the unanimous vote was largely symbolic. Negotiations to reduce or eliminate the property tax increase and replace it with the mix of new revenue and reprogram federal pandemic relief funds began last week. So they're using pandemic funds to fund this stuff. The pandemic been over years ago. How are they still able to get this federal pandemic relief? This is crazy. But mayoral allies and critics alike nevertheless seized the opportunity to score political points, with angry constituents struggling to hold on to their homes and businesses after reassessment increases and 2 straight years of up to the limit property tax hikes to bankroll Chicago public schools. All of this is for the schools, the union. Everybody knows Chicago's unions are some of the most strongest unions, especially the teachers union. But Thursday's vote also was perhaps the strongest sign yet that Johnson's anemic public approval rating has emboldened the council to stop taking its marching orders from the mayor's office. Quote, "This is a defeat of epic proportions," Southwest Side Alderman Marty Quinn from 13th told the Sun-Times. He said, "The mayor can spin it and portray himself as mayor collaborator all he wants," Quinn added. "But in reality, within weeks' time, his budget will have been voted down. This is hugely significant for a city council that is growing more independent. It can't be understated." Johnson lives in a fantasy land, I definitely agree, where everyone who opposes him is either corrupt or racist. It's worrisome at times because one wonders if he still has a connection to reality. The vote was largely symbolic because negotiations are underway to close the billion-dollar budget gap with alternative measures, but there was no debate, just an up or down vote. Am I exaggerating his disconnect from reality? Well, his aides insist they made no attempt to block Thursday's vote and do not view it as an embarrassment. In fact, Johnson told reporters on Tuesday he was never serious about the $300 million tax increase. So I wish I had the clips ready. I could play the clips of him talking about the tax increase, and they literally asked him, "Why are you going to raise the taxes when you ran on not raising property taxes?" And he was like, "Well, I looked at everything. We have to do something. Basically, we have to get the money from somewhere." He's basically saying, so we have to raise these property taxes. Now he's trying to pretend like he wasn't serious about it. This guy's despicable. You can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. So which one is the truth? We don't know. But he made it a centerpiece of his $17.3 billion budget simply to shock the council into proposing serious revenue-raising alternatives, he said. No one believes that. I think he really was trying to raise it. A madman is running the city of Chicago, and I definitely agree. Chicago, y'all voted for this guy, man. So, hopefully y'all learn y'all lesson with putting in these crazy leftists that really are these crazy leftist socialists that really don't care anything about the people. I mean, his constituents are coming down to every single meeting telling this man that we don't want these things that you're pushing. We are sick and tired of funding this stuff, and he is doing absolutely nothing about it and is continuing to fund these illegal immigrants in Chicago. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.